Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Star Wars Empire at War Remake mod. This is Colossal Kiko, and last we left off, we were taking over Sereno and Talos, and now we're going to continue our expansion on to Mon Calamari, so then we can get the big ships, and then hopefully we can stick it to the Empire. But let's see where we go from here. So, looking back at our fleet, it looks like this is what we have left from our previous battles, because it has been a little while since I last uploaded a video, so my apologies there. Life got a little busy. So, this should be enough, I think, to go for Ziost. So I think we're going to end up taking this fleet, after I unpause the game. I'm going to take this fleet over to Ziost.
Into position.
And after we take Ziost, I think we're going to jump over to Korriban, and then go to Raxus, and then go straight for Calamari. So let's begin this battle. So here we are, our whole fleet came in this time, because I did not designate anybody to jump in first, because it's an early game. It's not that big of a deal. But we're going to actually speed up until I get over there. It looks like we got Han and Chewie in their Millennium Falcon right there. We got a lot of fighters. Got our Dreadnought that's led by our commander, Garm Bel Iblis. Sorry. So I'm actually just going to boost up some of their engines so that we can get there quicker.
All power to the engines. Yes, Commander. Enemy forces ahead.
It looks like we have now finally found them. So we're going to take this guy, make him go over here. We're going to actually select all our fighters, make them just hunt everybody down. So that they should get here quicker now.
Assault frigate here.
We're going to have the assault frigate go this way.
Standing by.
Looks like they...
We've lost the missile.
Shoot. Didn't get those out in time. Well, fortunately we did lose him.
Frigate reporting.
But this shouldn't stop us. It does look like they do have a Dreadnought of their own. So we're going to actually send him. Actually, we're going to see if we have any bombers left. And we do. We're going to take them, have them hit him. And we're also going to make our assault frigate go for him, and also get those shields going. Looks like they're now getting pounded by our Y-Wings. Just look at this beautiful battle. Again, I cannot stress how beautiful this mod is and how great it makes this game look. So, forgot we had Corvettes left. Let's bring Mon Mothma forward.
Gargantuan ready. Moving ahead.
Bring him up there. Let's just boost his engine so he can get up there quicker. Hopefully, we don't lose too much more. Looks like they just lost their base. Just watch the remaining starfighter battles.
Your orders?
And it looks like they just have one last arc. Yep, that was the last one. So there we go, we now got another planet. We're quickly growing and hopefully we can combat the Galactic Empire. And unfortunately we did suffer quite a bit of losses this time around. He will come back, so not too worried about losing him, but we are now just going to have to build up our fleet, and once that's built up, I will bring it back when we take over Korriban. Okay, so we're actually about to invade Korriban right now, and I ended up building some of Y-Wings and some X-Wings, and then also some Nebula frigates. This way we have a pretty robust anti-fighter units, or anti-fighter fleet, I guess. And then we also have our Y-Wings to take out like bigger ships like those dreadnoughts. So now this time I put in just the assault frigate to jump in first. And then we're just going to speed this up while he makes his way there. And overall, I did hear recently that I think there was an update to the base game, I want to say maybe last week, by Petroglyphs, who were one of the original developers on this, I guess in conjunction with Lucasfilm, whereas I think Lucasfilm actually more did the like consulting on what the game would be. But regardless, I guess they added, I think I heard 2 planets, and for the life of me can't remember what planets they were. I know there was another big update to it as well, with adding a bunch of like bug fixes and stuff, so I think it's quite interesting that Petroglyph came back and I guess patched a huge chunk of this game, especially for how old it is. I find it really interesting. But as you can see now, we're actually getting into the heat of it, and it looks like they actually have, if I can stop them, interceptors. So we're going to pull in some of our ships. We're going to bring in a bunch of our X-Wings to go hunt down the enemies. We're going to have these guys just really mop up a lot of them, and they're cheap to replace. Not saying that they're not valuable, but they're fairly easy to replace, so I'm not too worried about losing them. Oops. And then we're going to bring in some of the nebulas. By some of them, I do mean all of them. We're taking the rebellion approach, having mass numbers. And we're actually going to bring them all in quite a bit closer. We're going to have them... Ooh. Oh, and it looks like they might have just lost their shields. We might actually lose our assault frigate, which is kind of not okay. I guess I played that a little bit wrong. But we're now going to bring in a bunch of air Y-Wings. And I'm going to have these take out that big dreadnought right there. We're going to take them out just to make sure that we take that out as well. So here they... Oh, I guess he doesn't want to go there. And actually, looks like we're going to take him out. So we're going to bring that nebula around that way. We're just going to start looping around to start taking out the rest of their fighters. Now,
starting my run. Awaiting orders. Copy. Shield generator is lost.
This one does have a lot of fighters, which is definitely nothing that we can't handle. It's just I was actually kind of surprised it had more than normal. And I guess I don't know if in the Empire Remakes mod if this planet typically has more, I guess, because I know some, like when we do fight off against Mon Calamari, they're going to have like the MC-75s, MC-80, and I believe another one as well, maybe two MC-75s, and those are big ships, and they're really good ships. So, and I know like the Kuwait, or yes, Kuwait, I think I said that right. Shipyards have like the ISD-1s, I think two of them, and then ISD-2 or something like that. And I know for like when the Empire gets there, like those are difficult to take out, especially in the early game. I guess unless you just have mass numbers, which is probably what our approach is going to be once we get to Mount Calamari. But we might wait until we have tech level 2 for sure, or possibly tech level 3. So, unfortunately, we did end up losing our assault frigate, and then just a few squadrons, which those can be easily replaced. I'm not saying that they're not valuable, but at least they can be replaced cheaper, and I don't think we can actually replace the assault frigate until, I want to say, the 3rd technology level. And the technology levels, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with this game, it goes from 1 to 5, and 5 is when you get like the best stuff, which is I think when you can get like in this mod the Super Star Destroyer, and then there's the Eclipse, and I want to say there's one more, the Executioner maybe? There's one more just ginormous ship that you can get as well. And each of those pretty much is the only ship you can deploy in a battle because of how much space they take. But I think we are going to take this moment to now just see where the Empire's at in the criminal underworld. So looking here, it looks like they have now 5 planets, and they are actually expanding out this way because they did start with Coruscant. It's really Empire's first started, technically, with Anakin killing all those little children because George Lucas wanted to put that in a film. But it looks like they're starting to expand out this way. I don't foresee anything being out here super useful for them out this way. And I just found out that they actually have Jedha and Scarif in here. I don't know if those are new, but I somehow have never noticed those before. Huh. I'm not surprised, I should say, that they're not trying to take out like this, because this is where you get the CIS ships, which is like the Providence class, and then the Magnificent class. I'm probably butchering those so much, and I'm so sorry. But here on this planet, you can actually end up getting like your Clone Wars ships, which is like the Dreadnought, the Victory class, the Gladiator class, and I think the Empire might be able to start off with Venators already, so I don't think they need to conquer a planet for that. But they might need to conquer like a planet like this to get like the more fighter focused ones, so like the big carrier ones. Because I know there are 2 different Venators in this. There's the one that's more weaponized, and then there's another one that's more just carrier focused, which still has some pretty decent guns. But it pretty much overall relies more on its fighter capacities and I guess bomber capacities as well to protect it. At Kuwait, this is where you get like as it says, this planet allows for the construction of the Star Destroyers, Star Battle Cruisers, and Star Dreadnoughts. And then once they get up to, I want to say level 3 is when they get the first ISD, I think. And with that, they can build them here. I know not every planet can build them. I think there might be one more planet that can build them. But off the top of my head, I think it might actually just be Coruscant that could build them, possibly. But besides that, otherwise it's really just the Kuwait drive yards, which in the Legends is where a lot of their ships were built, if not all of their Star Destroyers were built. And I not entirely sure if they brought that over in canon. I'm not really super caught up with this new canon. I've been watching like the shows and stuff, but I don't read the books or anything because I'm not really all that interested in reading books anymore. But then you see here we can also build some more CIS ones, or they can, I guess, because they'll most likely get to those before we do. Here's more Clone Wars, and this planet allows for the construction of all Republic ones, which is slightly different than what this one allows. But I believe this one allows for the construction of all CIS. Yep. I don't know about you, but I really like Mandalore. I just think that their whole culture that's shown throughout the whole universe is actually really fantastic. Especially the new series, if you guys have been watching that. I personally think that the second season's better than the first. I also do like their connections to like the Clone Wars and to their overall connections to, I guess, the sequel trilogy in kind of a little obscure way, and I think that was just with having Luke Skywalker come and get Baby Yoda, and by having him do that, it's kind of foreshadowing him setting up that school that Kylo Ren end up kills every student in. So I'm not saying Baby Yoda dies in that, because who knows, but I think it's kind of showing that aspect of where Luke wanted to start setting up like this school for the gifted, or this training area. But anyways, enough about that spiel. So looking at the criminal underworld, it does look like they've only gone to 3 planets, which are 3 of the well-known planets in Star Wars, which is Geonosis, Tatooine, and Ryloth. All of them probably for different reasons. And actually, you might not really know Ryloth if you haven't seen like Star Wars The Clone Wars like TV show and Star Wars Rebels the TV show. It plays a very big part for a few episodes, I think, in Clone Wars, and just one of the main characters from the Rebels is from Ryloth. And then Geonosis is where the disaster number 2, Attack of the Clone Wars movie, takes place for the majority of it. Tatooine, obviously, A New Hope, and Return of the Last Jedi, when he goes back there to Jabba's palace. And I guess you can also argue the first episode. But going back to that, so this is how well we've expanded. We now have 5 planets, so we're on par actually with the Empire. They will get their Tech 2 before us, but that won't really affect us because we were not touching borders with them yet. I mean, by the looks of it, we have quite a few planets between us and them. So I think right now, though, I am going to end this episode right here. So thank you very much for watching. This is Colossal Kiko. Please like, share, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.